Hey girlies, and welcome back to the pod. Today we're talking all about the end of the semester, how you can get through finals, some, general study tips, organization tips, and then also just how you can feel better overall, so not just related to school, and tips for getting ready for break, how you can just get through all of it, because it can definitely be a stressful time of the year, the few weeks before break. I know that by the time this episode goes out, I'll just have my last week of school and then my break starts and then it's my birthday. Super exciting. But yeah, definitely this last week will be a struggle. So hopefully these tips will help y'all out, just make you feel better, maybe get you excited about break, excited about being finally just done with finals and just getting to relax for a week or two. But first, of course, let's talk about my week. So on Monday, I had an academic team district tournament. It's as comical as it sounds. We had to drive 45 minutes away. It was kind of ridiculous. And we played 2 matches and we won the first one but lost the second one. And I would say that might have been the biggest waste of time that I've done in a while of anything. I mean, it was more for the memes. I don't know what else to say about it, honestly, but I just have thought this entire semester how funny it is that I'm on academic team, because it's not like I'm stupid or anything. That's not why it's funny. Because, like, obviously I get good grades, I'm smart, but I just don't know random facts. Like, some of my friends just know the most random things. If you ask them a question, they'll just know. That's not me, but one of my friends who was kind of, I guess, quote-unquote, academic team captain was like, oh my gosh, Carmen, you need to do this. Your other friends are doing this, so you should. And I was like, okay, sure. And then I did, and it was not the most fun thing that I've ever done, but definitely good experiences. I know a lot of random things now, so hey, at least I gained something out of it. But then on Tuesday, I had my community service, which is always fun. And on Wednesday, I had my first final. My calculus final was split into 2 days because technically it was still the school day, but my teacher let us actually take the exam during class instead of during the exam time next week, because I'm pretty sure our exam would have been on Thursday and no one wanted to, I guess, take it then. So we took it. We took the calc exam a week early, which was honestly super nice. I took it on Wednesday and Thursday during my class times, and it was not bad at all. I am pretty sure that I got an A. So that's good. And then I also had my English final on Friday, and I had to write 3 essays in 2 hours, which sounds bad, but it really wasn't. I finished early. They say you're supposed to do like 40 minutes per essay, but honestly, by the end, I was just kind of done with it. You know, my English grade is fine. Of course, I tried my best, but I wasn't about to sit there and go through everything and edit it. You know, so I was like, maybe not. And then my last final is next Wednesday, and that's my environmental science class. And I think I need to review for that a little bit this week, but not this weekend, but not that much, because I've done really well throughout the class. And then also, I feel like I know all the material, and I did a lot of review the week before. Probably just go through my notes just to check up on some things. And then also on Wednesday is a big day for me. I find out about a college on Wednesday, so that's super exciting, and it is one that I really like, so we'll see. But if I don't get in, that could be sad, because I'll have had be like denied from the school that I want to go to, and then also have a final. So that could either be like a really fun day or just suck completely. Also on Wednesday, my siblings are getting home from school, so that's exciting. I think they're getting home late, and then I'm also going out to dinner with my friend Will. At least I think. He texted me earlier, so that should be fun. And yeah, I have a very social week coming up, which is strange for me. It's since next week is my birthday, I might be doing a birthday thing, and then Will asked me to go to dinner with him, and then I might be doing like a girls sleepover thing on Thursday, but we'll see. That's also up in the air. But I was telling my mom, I was on the phone with her earlier because she's in California right now, and I was telling her all that I had, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Carmen, good for you. Good for you for being social." I was like, "I know, for once." But I guess this is going to be all my social time that I didn't do all year. Just is going to be in 1 week, and of course it's like finals week because whatever. But I think it should be fun. But like I said, my mom is in California, so I've had to watch my dog for the past week. She's currently sitting on the floor in front of me, and I'm just staring at her because she's so cute, and also because I'm pretty sure I'll bet $100 that she's gonna start barking during the middle of this recording, and I'm gonna have to pause it and then go take her out and then come back, and that's just gonna be very annoying and obnoxious. So hopefully she doesn't do that. Hopefully she's good. I'm trying to manifest it. So hopefully she'll be fine. Also, last night in Kentucky, there was a tornado. It was not around where I live, which was really good. But I woke up last night in the middle of the night to rain. And usually I don't wake up because of rain or because of loud noises. But it was so loud. It's like a torrential downpour, and it was super windy. And my dad came up to my room this morning. He was like, "Did you see what they were saying on the news?" And apparently 100 people died in the tornado, which is really scary. And it happened like in the middle of the night, which is also just super scary. I was not aware that Kentucky got tornadoes. Didn't really know that one, because always at school we're like, why are we doing a tornado drill? Why would there ever be a tornado? Well, there was one, so that's fun, I guess, but feel bad for those people and obviously their families. Hopefully everyone is okay, but obviously it was really traumatic, and I think someone was telling me that it might be one of the worst tornadoes in Kentucky history. So again, not good. Not good. But on a happier note, I found a new show that I like, and I've been binge watching it all day instead of doing podcast stuff because it's kind of addicting. It's one of those shows that always ends on a cliffhanger, so you keep having to watch it. But I realize since tomorrow I kind of have a busy day. By busy, I mean I have one thing. But I didn't want to have to worry about this, so we're doing it now. But this show is called Sex/Life, which sounds bad, but it really isn't. It is TVMA, so it does have a mature rating, so keep that in mind. But honestly, 10 out of 10, very good. I guess do a brief summary. It's about a woman who is in suburbia and she's married, but she keeps thinking about her ex-boyfriend, and pretty much the series is told from her perspective, being like married with 2 kids with her husband in Connecticut versus like in the past when she was in her 20s trying to get her PhD with this other guy. And it's kind of about those two worlds colliding. It's really interesting, and it's good. I will say it's good. Right after I finish this, I'm gonna go watch it again, but also take Tilly somewhere. I can't say the word though because she knows it, and then she'll get up and start barking or whining, and we don't want that. We want Miss Tilly to stay happy, be a happy girl. She's currently sleeping on the floor, so hopefully she'll stay like that. I also read a really good book this week feel like every week I end up giving show and book recommendations, but oh well. It was called Verity by Colleen Hoover, and it was my first Colleen Hoover book that I've ever read, and I would classify it as, that's a fun word, classify, feel fancy over here. I would consider it to be a psychological thriller romance. I don't know if that's a genre. I might have just made that up, but that's pretty much what it was. It was about a woman who is a writer who's not very famous. Her name is Lowen, and she ends up getting this crazy opportunity to co-write a book with this really famous author named Verity. Don't ask me the last name, I don't remember. But the thing about this co-writing position is that it's really secretive because Verity has gotten into a car crash and can't actually write, and her husband is having Lowen co-write, and he asks her to stay at the house, look through her office, and a bunch of creepy stuff starts to happen, and it's kind of about what's going on at their house, but it's also told from two different perspectives. The first one is from Lowen, so the co-writer, and then, oh, Tilly is walking towards me. Tilly? Hi, Tilly. Okay. Hi, princess. Give me a minute, please. Thank you. And the second perspective is told from the wife, but it's in the past, and okay. Tilly is staring at me. Okay, she's walking up. Hi, Till. You want to say hello? Do you want to say hello? Yes, she does. Okay, but the second perspective is told from the wife through her manuscript that she had written from meeting her husband to the car accident, and it's leading up to that. And so it's really interesting to see the two perspectives. It reminds me of another book that I read called The Wife Upstairs. Hey, Till. And that was also told from a perspective of, like, the new woman and the wife. So, very interesting. Good stuff. Also, recently, all my friends have been getting into college. My friend Will, who said I was going out to dinner with, ED'd to Rice University, and he got in, which is super exciting. And then I have had some friends who ED'd to UVA, and they got in. And then I have a friend next week who's finding out about Northwestern, where she ED'd, so that's exciting. I found out, oh my gosh, why can't I speak? I find out about a college decision next week as well on Wednesday, so kind of nervous about that, but we'll see how that goes. And then tomorrow I'm going to a drag show with my older sister Leslie, which will be super fun, and then also my dad, so that'll be a meme. And yeah, lots going on next week. I have a hair appointment at college decision. It's my birthday on Saturday, the 18th. So that's exciting, turning 18 on the 18th. So yay me. That should be super fun. But anyway, okay. Today we are talking all about end of the semester blues. So feeling kind of crappy. So like I said, today we're talking all about end of semester, not feeling your best, how you can get through finals, final week, finals, get it, just pretty much how you can get through, tips for you. But first of all, let's talk about what is the end of semester blues. Obviously, it is, I would feel like kind of common sense, but I'll explain in case anyone is confused. So pretty much it's just kind of a state of not feeling your best, whether maybe it's feeling sad, depressed, anxious, not really motivated, kind of just feeling like you're done, or maybe that you have so much to do, you're so stressed, you don't know how to handle anything, whatever it might be. And I feel like this is kind of brought on because of like a realization of, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. I have so much going on this week. I have to study so much. I have to study for hours. I don't even understand this. Maybe you didn't read any of the books for English and you're like, how am I going to write an essay on any of this? Maybe that's where you are. Maybe you didn't understand the class. Maybe you don't understand a concept and you're kind of freaking out because your final is tomorrow, or maybe it's coming up in the next few days. Or maybe you're just realizing how many finals you have this week, how many papers are due, how many projects are due, whether if you have to do a presentation, or maybe you're just feeling a little stressed about break. Maybe it's because you have to see family members that you aren't the biggest fan of. Seeing extended family, that can be stressful, especially if you don't get along with them. So just letting you know, we all experience that, whether it's brought upon by school stress or whether it's brought upon by like getting ready for break, having to be around family all the time, especially when maybe if you go to a boarding school or if you're in college and you don't really see your family that much, being around a lot of family members at one time can be a little nerve-wracking, can make for a bit of anxiety. And I also feel like this can be caused by stressing over your grades, stressing over how much or what grade you need to get on the final so you can keep an A or so you can keep a B, like calculating your grades. I know we've all gone into that one website. I don't know what it's called right now, but it's where you like put in your semester grade, what you want to end the year with, and what % of your grade is the final. So you can kind of figure out, oh, like I need to aim for, maybe you need to get a 70 to keep an A, or maybe you need to get like an A to keep an A, or to get an A to raise your grade. So really it depends. And I know, especially, I don't know if I would say last year, because last year I don't think I had any midterms, but I guess at the end of the year I was stressing a lot about it, about keeping grades, because especially as a junior, I feel like it's really important. And I had finals in a lot more classes. This year I'm only having 3, and like I said, I've already had 2, so I'm not really feeling stressed at the moment. But I know that a lot of you guys are, because I posted on my story asking y'all how many finals you have, and a lot of people had upwards of 8, or I know a lot of people were saying 5 or 6, and that's a lot, guys. That is a lot to handle, especially maybe if it's your first time taking a final, if you're a freshman. Maybe if you're a sophomore and your school didn't do finals last year, it can be very stressful, especially when you've never done that. So it makes total sense if you're not feeling super prepared, maybe if you're stressed, if you're anxious, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by that, that is totally valid. And I also feel like this end of the semester, sad, kind of unmotivated feeling can kind of also be caused by the weather. Just because if you live somewhere where it has 4 seasons, you know that by December time, it's going to be dark. The days are short. I know where I live, the sun is setting around 5 p.m., which compared to over the summer when the sun sets at 9, that's a pretty big difference. And you can definitely feel it. I know I have really been feeling lazy. Like what I said earlier, I've watched Netflix all day today just because I haven't been able to motivate myself to actually get up and do something, which, letting you guys know, we all go through that. Literally, I did that earlier today, and that's totally okay if you're not feeling motivated all the time, but finals is definitely the time when you need to be on it and you need to do the work and study, even if you're not feeling motivated, because it's just something you have to do. It really doesn't matter how motivated or unmotivated you're feeling. It's just something that has to happen. And I think that's also a bit of a shift in your mindset when you're thinking about finals, because obviously it's nice just to sit and lay down and watch a movie just all day. That's all that you do. But if your grades depend on this, if you're trying to get into college, if you're trying to do something after high school, it does kind of matter. And I feel like it's important to put in the effort now than to look back on it later and kind of wish, oh, I wish I'd actually studied for this. I could have done so much better. Now I have so much more pressure on me for second semester, and I really don't want to handle that, or I don't know how to handle that, and I'm kind of stressing, I'm kind of worried. So again, keep that in mind, y'all. You still have the rest of the year, and I know that can be overwhelming to think about that and to think about your grades, especially if you're someone who's a bit of a perfectionist, or maybe you're super set on doing well in school. Maybe you value yourself a lot based on academic achievement, and I can definitely relate to that. But just letting you know, again, grades aren't everything. I feel like what I've been saying, it kind of makes it sound like that, but that's not what I'm trying to say. Grades aren't everything, but they are important, and I would say they do definitely matter, but again, they're not everything. Okay. So, here are some tips for managing your finals / end of the year stress. First thing I will say is to create a to-do list. And whenever I talk about anything related to studying or productivity or motivation, I always mention this just because I think it's so important, and it definitely really does help. But whenever I have a lot to do, if I'm feeling super overwhelmed, it helps to write it down just so you know how you can plan your day, what you actually need to get done, and what's realistic to get done, because often it's really easy to just think about everything that you have to do without taking into consideration how long things will take you and how much time you actually need to spend on it. So I think writing to-do lists can be super helpful just because you can really see what you actually have to do and kind of split it up between days. So whether you want to make a to-do list for the entire week, or maybe you want to make a to-do list for the rest of your afternoon or for your whole day, whatever. I think it's super helpful to write stuff down, and then also it's really satisfying when you can cross something off, because then you feel like you've accomplished something, get a little boost of serotonin, you're like, ooh, yes, I'm being so productive, I'm doing my best. But to-do lists aren't for just writing down little tasks like make bed, shower, eat breakfast, because obviously you're going to do that. Obviously you may have to do that. To-do list, it's more like, okay, I'm going to review I'm trying to think of something you would review. Review my notes for my history exam. I'm going to review this unit to this unit, and just kind of starting with that. And yeah, so definitely suggest writing a to-do list, but make sure that you're actually writing down stuff that you need to do, not necessarily the little tasks, because that's not really being productive. That's just writing something down just to have something written down so you feel like you're being productive. And kind of going along with that, the organization theme of things, it's important if you use a planner. And again, this is kind of similar to a to-do list. For me, I like to use a planner throughout the school year just so I can write down what I have to do each day related to homework. But I think a planner can also be helpful because you can keep track of which days you have a final, what time it is, what you need to study leading up to it, how many days in advance you have. And I would use a planner more for figuring out logistical stuff, I guess I would say, just so you can overall stay organized, know when you have everything, not have to be freaking out of, oh my gosh, I don't know what time my math final is, oh my gosh, I don't know what room it is. Just having everything written down and staying organized, and going along with that, just overall being organized, I feel like is so important, because if you're not organized, you're just adding another thing for you to stress about, and that really isn't something that you need to worry about. You don't need to be worrying about, oh, what day is this exam? What time is it? You need to be worrying about the actual content that you need to be understanding. So being organized will kind of prevent you from having to worry about other things like that. And again, organize, guys. I would suggest before you start studying, organize all your materials. I specifically like to do this for history if I'm having an exam in that class, just so I can separate all my units together. If I have loose papers versus actual notes, getting PowerPoints together, whatever I have, just organizing all your materials I think can be super helpful before you start studying, so you're not rushing around looking for everything. And this is definitely something I would say if you're going to study in advance, which I 10 out of 10 recommend. I would suggest first getting all your materials together, then actually looking through each unit, looking to see what you need to know. And I think it's definitely also helpful. Review the stuff
that you don't know, that you don't remember. You don't really need to be reviewing something if you already know it, if you already feel confident in that, or at least that's how I feel, that's how I do it, because I don't want to have to waste my time going over something basic that I already understand when I could be actually learning something that's going to be on the final and that I might struggle with later. So again, review the stuff that you're not as confident on. If you're a little iffy on it, review it. If you have absolutely no idea what this is, you don't remember learning this at any point, which we've all been there, review that. If you know something so confidently, if you know it, you can just think of it, you don't even need to look at any information, you don't need any help, don't review it. You know that. You've learned it. You're good to go. And if you want to review everything, but for me, that feels more like a waste of time. I'm going to review what I actually don't know, and that's how I end up doing better on my exams. It's also helpful relating to organization if you're, oh my gosh, that was hard to say, okay. If you're setting specific goals for each day, so instead of just writing down in your to-do list, study for math, study for English, study for physics, whatever, you're going to write, okay, review Unit 1 notes from Calc, review this book, whatever, review The Great Gatsby, look up character names, review if you did annotations in the book, look at that. If you have any papers on it, look at that. You can review past tests or quizzes, but be specific about your intentions for each day and what you're actually going to review, because I feel like it's hard to get motivated if you see a to-do list and all you have on there is, it's like, study for X, study for Y, study for Z, because that's not very specific. And if I see that, then I'm just going to think, okay, my studying is going to be me flipping through my calc notes for 5 minutes, and I can consider that studying, even though it's not actually studying, but on my to-do list, apparently it is, instead of me saying, okay, do practice problems for related rates in calc. So really be specific about what you actually have to do, and I think that'll help to hold you more accountable and actually, I guess, get stuff done and study effectively. Because it's easy to sit there and think, oh yeah, I'm totally studying. I'm learning so much, absorbing the information, when all you're doing is just staring at your notes and flipping through that. That's not productive. Unless you have photographic memory, I don't know how much that's going to help you if you're just staring at it, trying to hope that you'll somehow understand. Honey, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. And like I said earlier, it is helpful, and I would strongly suggest that you study more than a day in advance, meaning the night before your exam. I think it would help if you aren't panicking and staying up all night, because it's important to get sleep. It's important to not be stressing so much, because if you're stressing immediately before you go to bed, then you're not going to be able to sleep well, and you're going to wake up and you're not going to do well on your exam the next day, and it just kind of snowballs into something worse than it could have actually been. So review a few days in advance, or as much time as you can give to it, especially for the classes you might struggle in. Maybe in some classes you don't really need to review that much. I would say for English, for me, it's never really been that you need to review that much, just because at my school, the English exams are mostly just essays, and since I read the books, it means that I don't necessarily need to be up all night looking at Spark Notes. But if you're someone who doesn't read the books, look at summaries online, look at people's analyses online, look up symbols from the book, look up character lists, look up people's interpretations. That's what I would suggest, not just reading on Spark Notes. So, be smart about it. If you don't read the book, be smart about it. But I would always suggest to read the book, just because it'll help you out in the long run, and you're not going to have to be cramming for an English final, when really that could just be an easier day of you just having to write an essay, which shouldn't be that bad. And again, use your resources, guys. Look through class notes, look through any readings you've had to do, look at YouTube videos, whether they're teaching lessons or maybe they're having analysis of books. Even if you've read the book, I think it's helpful to hear someone's analysis of it, especially if it might be a summer reading book you had to do, or a book maybe that you had to read in school in September. It's kind of hard to remember. It's also good to review previous tests, quizzes, or assignments, or maybe review packets if your teacher does those. So I think that's all really good material to look at before you have your exam, and that'll be super helpful.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online counseling service that is affordable and accessible for everyone. It is not a crisis line or self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online. Their platform will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist, and you can even start communicating in under 48 hours. The counselors are easily accessible, and you can send them a message at any time, along with scheduling weekly video or phone sessions. If you are someone who has been interested in getting help with depression, anxiety, relationships, trauma, family conflicts, or more, then BetterHelp is a great alternative to traditional offline therapy. BetterHelp is also more affordable, and financial aid is available to make their services available to clients worldwide. As always, I want you to start living your best and happiest life, so as a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/girlygirl. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/girlygirl.
Okay. Now, moving away from the more, school-related / final-related tips, the next few things I'm going to say are more related to dealing with just overall stress, anxiety, feeling overwhelmed, feeling not your best. And I would say the first thing that is so important is to take breaks. Whether that's taking breaks from studying, or if it's taking breaks from your family or from friends. I think whatever aspect of life is currently stressing you out the most, especially if you're listening to this over break, maybe it is friends, maybe it's family, move away from that for a little. If you need to hibernate in your room for an hour, even 15 minutes, that can be really beneficial. I know for me, I can get pretty exhausted of people. Not necessarily specific people. I mean, obviously some specific people, but just being around people sometimes makes me tired, and I just can't mentally do that all the time. So it's always nice for me if I can have a little break, whether it's going for a drive or walking around or reading a book or maybe just watching an episode of a show. It's really nice to just kind of be with myself for a little bit. So I think whether it's school, friends, family that's stressing you out, it can always be good just to take some alone time, take a break. Maybe you want to bake. It's Christmas season or whenever you celebrate holiday time. You can make some cookies. My dad makes some pretty banging cookies. They're sugar. Maybe they're called butter cookies. I really don't know what they are, but they're so good. And they're small. They're kind of in ball shapes, but not really. They have sprinkles on the top, and it's the little colorful ones, the round ones. They're so good. Those are my favorite cookies. So if you want to make cookies, if you want to make a cake, just baking, I think can be relaxing for some people. I am not the best baker. I feel like I say that a lot, but I'm really not. Today I tried to cook. For some reason I thought it'd be a good idea. I thought I was really smart too earlier today. Didn't work out, but I thought it'd be, for some reason, a really good idea to put avocado in tomato pasta sauce. Yeah, it sounds as gross as it was. For some reason I thought it would make it creamy, make it taste really good. I was oh, you won't be able to taste the avocado, it won't make anything wrong. No, that was disgusting. Okay, first of all, I didn't blend the avocado or anything, so it wasn't I was mixing in an avocado puree. No, I was mixing in just chunks of avocado. It was just not it. The avocado was kind of bad. I'm pretty sure the sauce I used was expired because everything just tasted sour and it was disgusting. And I tried to put cheese in it, but then the smell of cheese made me kind of gag. So that was just overall a mess. Sometimes I think things that would be good together just really doesn't work out well for me. So I'm not the best with food, I guess you could say. Baking is worse though, surprisingly. I either don't cook it all the way, or it cooks too much, or I mix something wrong, or I forget to add something in. But baking has never been my strong suit, but I love to eat it. So if you like to bake, bake. If you like to eat, find a family member who likes to bake. For me, that is my twin sister, and love and appreciate her always. I also think something that's a good break, reading. We all know I love my Kindle. If you have a Kindle, you know you're a real one. I should make a Kindle club. I think that would be fun. But whatever you want to do, take a break from people, even if it's just showering. I don't know, I feel like that sounds stupid, but if you just shower, I like to shower in the dark. Mainly because my shower head has lights. It's super fun. It's sort of similar to the color changing lights people put on their walls, except for this my mom got for me when I was 10, but I didn't install it until a year or two ago. So my mom was really ahead of the trends. It changes colors and it's super fun, so you can have a dance party. So whether you want to have a dance party break or if you want to have a cry in the shower break, whatever floats your boat, man, whatever you want to do that, and you'll be good to go. I also think it is nice, kind of relating to taking a break from people, from studying, from your work, from family. It's really nice to kind of get away from your phone, turn it off, put it in a different room, maybe give it to your mom or something, just in case someone does text you and it's important, someone can see, but you don't have to deal with it. Because I know for me, definitely social media can make me feel anxious sometimes, or you're missing out maybe, because especially if it's finals week and you have friends who are done with finals, or maybe people are coming home from college, or maybe just people it feels like aren't studying as much as you, and you feel like you're holed up in your room, kind of get a sense of FOMO, So I think it's helpful to put away your phone, get away from your social media just for a hot minute, just to sit, do your actual work, or maybe if it's over break and people are traveling everywhere, maybe someone's at the beach, maybe people are skiing and you're just stuck home, you're like, oh my gosh, stuck in Kentucky again. I say this while I'm literally going to the beach. But it can be hard sometimes, so I definitely think taking a break from your phone is good. It's always going to be beneficial, I feel, and it can do nothing but good. So whether you're just putting away your phone for an hour, or maybe you're putting it away for the day or for a week, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like you need to do, I think it'll definitely help you out and make you feel less stressed, because I know if I go on my phone first thing in the morning, my heart starts beating really fast and I get really anxious, which it's not even that I'm looking at stuff that's stressful. I guess just actually being on my phone kind of stresses me out, which is probably not good. But I try to not go on my phone as much as possible. My parents get mad at me though, because they say I don't answer my texts or calls, but that's just because I'm not on my phone, and I will purposely put my phone on the opposite end of the room from where I'm sitting because I don't want to go on it. But then there's always those days where I just kind of lay down and watch TikTok for a few hours, which is why my phone stays across the room. We have a toxic relationship, what can I say? So recommend setting boundaries with your phone, setting boundaries with your family, and definitely setting boundaries with your work. So studying, put away your materials, just take a break from it, because there does get to a point where you're not going to learn anymore. I feel like I always can recognize this, where I know that what I'm doing isn't productive anymore, and that if I'm just sitting here trying to study, it's going to do me no good except for make me more exhausted and just make me forget material and be a waste of my time. So if you're feeling like what you're doing isn't really helping, just stop, take a break, get off your phone, bake cookies, hopefully successfully. Don't mix avocado and pasta sauce. Don't do that. I beg you. I don't know what I was thinking. I had seen a TikTok earlier today of a man who made tomato soup, telling me that I should experiment with foods and mix things together, and that's what I did, and it made me gag. So, lesson of the day, don't listen to people on TikTok. So, good stuff. Good stuff, dudes. And also, if you're stressing about finals, and you're someone who likes to be hopeful, likes to not necessarily sit and wallow in self-pity, get excited for break, okay? Because you're not going to have school, and that's going to be fun. Maybe you're going out of town. Maybe you're staying home. That can be fun too, just having time to chill, not see people from school, be with family, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's still something different, and that can be something to look forward to. Christmas, gifts, if you want to look at it that way, or maybe just having a break from school. It can honestly be super nice and just be good to have a break from everything, from life. So get excited for that. If you're listening to this over break, then happy break, and I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. And just know, finals, it'll be okay. Even if you don't do as well as you thought, you still have an entire semester to make up your grades, or maybe you don't care and you're just gonna do whatever. Totally fine. I couldn't do that, but if you want to, sure. And make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok at the Girly Girl Podcast if you want to see more from me throughout the week. If you want to see some motivational quotes on Instagram, pretty cute stuff, all pink themed, obviously. If you want to see my TikToks, I don't know how good those are, but they're there. They're there. It's probably more embarrassing for me, but hey, gotta humble myself somehow, I guess. But I hope you all have an amazing week. You're gonna do great on your finals, and happy break. Happy early birthday to me. My birthday's on the 18th, so if you're listening on the 18th, it's my birthday, and you can tell me happy birthday. If you're not listening on the 18th, you can still tell me happy birthday. That totally works. Sure. Okay, bye y'all. Have a great day, and happy finals week, she says with a sarcastic tone. Anyways, bye y'all.